Hi, how are you? I hope you guys are well. I am talking about a subject today that I think is close to my heart, and I think it's a really important thing for us all to talk about. And that subject is creator income myths. I'm not completely set on that title, so the title of the video might be a bit different, but the subject's gonna remain the same. I wanna talk about the whole topic of earning money as a content creator and a lot of the myths and the lies and the misconceptions which are being spread about it, because there are quite a few, and I realize that whenever I find myself repeatedly talking about something to my clients, it probably means that it deserves its own YouTube video. So here we are. Before we get to it though, if you like content like this, then please hit the subscribe button, please like the video, comment, do all that great stuff. It really helps me out, and I upload content similar to this every single week. Okay, so the first myth that we need to talk about is a very important one, is this idea that brands don't actually pay content creators good money, and that any creator who claims to make decent income from brand partnerships is lying. Now, if you've heard that and thought, what? Do people actually think that? I'm here to tell you that people really do. And how I know this is because of the beautiful platform that is TikTok. Now, if you're not familiar with TikTok, one thing you need to know is TikTok users are very vocal. Like, the comment sections on TikTok there's a lot going on in there. So if you're ever curious to know how people feel about a subject, if you find a TikTok related to that subject, just look at the comments and the comments will tell you. So I have seen a lot of TikToks where creators are sharing how much money they've earned as an influencer or a content creator each month throughout 2022. I don't know if you guys have seen those before. They were really popular in 2021. People are literally just saying, in January I made £1,000, in February I made £4,000, etc. Now, you know me, I like transparency, so I actually love those TikToks. I think they're great. I'm like, yeah, show people what's possible. Like, why not? Let's talk about money, right? However, obviously not everyone loves that. And when you head to the comment section under a lot of those TikToks, people will flat out say, you're lying. This is a cap. There's no way that you earn that much money from brands because you only have X amount of followers, or blah, blah, blah. I also see a lot of comments from other TikTok creators who have a big following saying, this is a lie because I've got 100,000 followers and brands won't pay me, blah, blah, blah. Now, I need to make it very, very clear before we dive into this subject. I have no idea if those creators are lying or not. I would just assume that they're not. I'd rather assume the best in people. And another reason why I'm going to assume that they're not lying is because I know firsthand that brands do and can pay content creators a decent amount of money, even if you don't think these creators have a huge following. It happens. I made £80,000 in sponsorships last year. Big caveat, I run a business, so I didn't get to keep all that money because I've got expenses and taxes and blah, blah, blah. But the point is that I did manage to make that much money from sponsorships. I have coached several content creators and influencers who have made thousands of pounds from sponsorships, from working with brands, some of them who had a couple thousand followers at the time. Like, I have seen firsthand that this can happen. Not even mentioning the fact that I also worked in marketing for 8 years, that I have literally hired creators for brands and paid them tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of pounds as part of a partnership. Like, it happens. The reason why I think this myth exists at the moment is because there are so many creators who are not getting paid a fair amount for their work. There are also a lot of creators who haven't quite figured out how to pitch themselves to brands yet in a way where they're speaking the brand's language and in a way that they can clearly articulate the value they can bring to a brand. And unfortunately, a lot of the time when you're not able to do that, you may struggle to get paid brand partnerships. Now, when I see people comment under this content saying, you know, this is a cap because I've got hundreds of thousands of followers and no brand has ever paid me. Obviously, me being me, I do a bit of sleuthing, right? I go onto their profile and I try and figure out if I can see why this person might be struggling to get paid brand partnerships. And majority of the time, especially for TikTokers, but this also is applicable to all content creators, there's one key reason where I feel like they might be struggling to get paid deals. And that reason is because the creator doesn't share a lot of marketable content. If you're wondering what that is, don't worry, because I'm pretty sure I made this word up. I haven't checked, but I've been using this word since I started my business, and I'm pretty sure I've just made it up. The idea around marketable content is that you are creating content that is like ad friendly. It's brand friendly. A brand can look at it and think, oh yeah, I love this content. I can totally see how my product or my service can fit into this person's content. And a lot of the time, people don't have content like that. And that is just the plain truth. Like, these creators might be sharing content that's super low quality. They might be sharing content that's controversial, that has a lot of swearing in it, so therefore brands just want to avoid partnering with them. They might not have any content which a brand can look at and see as an example of how a product or service can fit into it. And I could talk about this for a really long time, but there are obviously other myths that we need to talk about. But I did want to share that key mistake because, as I said, majority of the creators who believe that brands don't pay content creators because they've not managed to get paid in the past is because their content isn't quite marketable yet, and therefore it's not appealing to brands. If you want more guidance on this, I've got so many free resources available in the description, including a free masterclass. I really recommend that you check it out. Okay, so the second myth that we need to talk about is the idea that passive income is truly passive. Now, what I'm referring to, if you don't know what passive income is, it's essentially this idea that you can create and sell something and it will sell by itself without you having to do anything, and you'll be able to earn income from it without you having to lift a finger. So it's completely passive. You're not doing anything, you're going about your day and you're just making money in the background. Now, this was a very popular term. It still is a very popular term, but it was especially popular in like 2020, 2021. And I'm pretty sure I've used the word passive income in the past. Like, I'm sure I've spoken about this idea of passive income on one of my videos. And I want to make it clear that whilst it's totally possible for you to create something, launch something that makes money without you having to do much, it's actually quite difficult for you to do that. And you're more likely to succeed in creating something that is partially passive than creating something that's completely passive. So let me give you a real life example. I used to sell an ebook, right? It was like a 40-page guide and it would help you become a paid influencer. Now, I took maybe 6 weeks, couple months to create this. I can't really remember. But once it was done, I set it up. I mentioned it a few times in my old videos, and then it really did just start to sell passively in the background. I never really had to do anything else because I was promoting the ebook using a channel like YouTube, which is evergreen, which basically means that my content like this video can continue to get views for years to come without me having to do much, right? Because of the way that I set up the ebook and I promoted it, I very rarely needed to do anything to drive sales. I was just kind of making money in the background. And that is usually what people would refer to as passive. But what I'm saying is that in reality, it's partly passive, because whilst I didn't have to do much, it was selling automatically in the background. I did still have to answer customer queries. Sometimes people would have trouble opening the ebook. Maybe they didn't get the email. Maybe the email with the ebook went to their junk folder. Like, there's still small customer service issues that can and will pop up when you are selling anything, even if it's passive. Now, where the real misconception comes in is the idea that you can create something like a course, and an online course would be passive. No. Is this even, I don't even know if I would count that as partly passive, honestly. An online course is not passive. It requires so much time and effort to run a course, maintain good client results and satisfaction, and to promote it. People have entire businesses, entire teams, all dedicated to making an online course run. And if an online course was truly passive, you wouldn't need any of that stuff. You wouldn't need an entire team to run it, right? There are obviously other forms of income which can be more passive than others. For example, affiliate marketing. Again, if you promote a brand and you get a percentage of their sale, which is what affiliate marketing is, and you do it for a company which actually gives you reoccurring income. So for example, I often recommend a platform called TubeBuddy to YouTubers. It's what I use to run my YouTube channel and ensure that my videos get views. So I will recommend that to people. And if people sign up to TubeBuddy, I will get a percentage of the money that they spent to sign up to TubeBuddy every single month for as long as they stay with TubeBuddy, which means I can refer someone once and I will continually earn money from that referral, literally without me having to do anything. So that's a great example of something that's very, very passive versus an online course, which is often referred to as passive, but isn't actually that passive in nature. All of this to say that the idea of passive income alone isn't what the myth is or what the lie is. What we all need to do though is ensure that we have a clear understanding of how passive something might be, because otherwise we put ourselves at risk of being sold the dream of creating something which you'll never need to work on again, when in actuality, it's quite rare that you're able to create something like that. Okay, so next myth, and this is a very, very common one, is that you can't earn money as a content creator until you have a huge following. This is obviously a myth. I feel like I talk about this all the time, but I still know that loads of people believe this to be true. So it's just worth talking about, right? So the myth is that you need to wait until you have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers before you can start working with brands, before you can start selling your own products, before you can launch your own subscription or membership, etc., etc. And the reality is that it's just not true. It's just not true, guys. Some of you might not know this, especially if you're new to my content. Hi, by the way, welcome. If you're new here, so happy to have you. If you are new here, you might not know that before I had this brand, I actually had an Instagram channel that I ran with my other half, and it was like a travel and food and like experiences Instagram channel, and I think it got to maybe 9,000, just under 10,000 followers. Now, we started that Instagram page back in 2019, and I kid you not, we were working with brands like MasterCard, like big brands, within months of us starting that channel. So we only had 1,000, maybe a couple of thousand followers at the time, and we were getting paid brand partnership deals with brands like MasterCard. So again, from personal experience, I know that you can earn money as a creator when you do have a smaller following. And also, to give you another example from a different channel, so not Instagram, on my YouTube, I started landing paid partnerships which were in the thousands in terms of the money I was earning. It was like over £1,000 when I had 2,000 subscribers. So again, you can earn money as a creator. And to give you another example from a slightly different income stream, on YouTube, in case you're not aware, when you reach 1,000 subscribers and you have over 4,000 watch hours, you can join YouTube's partner program. Now, the partner program will allow you to put adverts in your videos, like some of the adverts that you would have seen throughout this video. By me putting adverts in my video, I'm able to earn an income from my YouTube channel because YouTube will split the money that the brand has paid to advertise on my channel with me. Okay, so that's a very quick overview of how you can make money from YouTube. Point I'm trying to make is my first month monetized on YouTube. So at this point, I had just over 1,000 subscribers and I'd been on YouTube for maybe 6 months. My first month, I made, I think it was £1,500. I actually talk about my first YouTube paycheck and I dive far deeper into this subject in this video, so I recommend watching it, but I'm pretty sure it was around the £1,500 mark from my first month being monetized on YouTube. So again, I just want to give you some real life examples just to show you what's possible, right? A lot of the time, the main thing what's holding us back from earning money as a content creator isn't our following size. Like, majority of the time it's us and it's our mindset and it's our belief system around whether or not we are worthy of earning money as a creator. And I'm here to tell you that you most certainly are. Fourth and final myth, working with brands, so brand partnerships, brand sponsorships as a creator is the best way to earn an income. Now, I know I've spoken a lot about brand partnerships in this video, and it's because I know for a fact that majority of creators and influencers, they focus their energy on getting brand partnerships as a way to earn an income. And I'm a firm believer that whilst working with brands is great, like I do it, it's a key income stream for my business, I don't necessarily believe it's the best income stream for your business. I just think it's a good one for you to have. And the reason why is because when you're working with a brand, you're kind of working for someone else. You have to create a piece of content that suits someone else. You need to create a piece of content by their deadline. And a lot of the time, when you engage in a lot of sponsorships and a lot of your content becomes sponsored, you actually end up losing a lot of the attention from your audience because they get a bit bored of being sold to. So those are some of the negative points for working with brands. And do not get me wrong, I'm not sitting here telling you that working with brands is difficult. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that there are some negative sides to working with brands, which might mean that you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket and only earn money through brand partnerships as a creator. One of the biggest reasons why I also believe this is because when you work with brands, you put your cash flow at risk. Cash flow is essentially the flow of cash that you get as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as like a solo trader, whatever it is, however you want to refer to yourself. It's quite literally the balance between how often you're earning money and all of the bills and all of the things that you need to pay for, such as tax. The reason why cash flow becomes a problem when you work with brands is because brands have various different payment schedules. So some brands can say to you, hey, we're not going to pay you for 90 days. I've had that many a time before. Often the bigger brands, they will take 90 days, that's 3 months, guys, to pay you for your work. So you'll get briefed by them, you'll create the content, they'll approve it, you'll schedule it, it will go live, and then 90 days later, you'll get paid. That's a long time. It's a long time to wait for some money. Other brands will pay you within a week, but a lot of the time it's somewhere in between. And when that happens, you end up having months where you might not earn anything and other months where you end up earning a lot. I had multiple months last year where I earned literally £0 from my brand partnerships, but then the next month I might earn 15 from them. Even though I was working with brands every single month, the payment terms meant that I was getting paid at different times. If I did not diversify my income, if I did not make an effort to do other things to earn money as a creator, my membership, I've got programs that I run, I do coaching, you know, if I didn't do all of these other things, my cash flow would have been a complete mess last year. I would have really struggled to pay my bills, to pay my taxes, to pay myself, because my income would have been so sporadic. So that's just another reason why working with brands is a great income stream, but it's not the only one available to you as a content creator. And again, if you want to know more about the different income streams available to you, I recommend checking out my free resources, specifically my masterclass, which is all about how you can make $5,000 months as a content creator. Okay, so those are some of the myths, the lies, the misconceptions surrounding creator income. I really hope you found that useful. If you did, then I recommend checking out this video. It is all about content creator mistakes that we are leaving in 2022. It's 2023 now. We're not going to make those mistakes anymore. So I really recommend you watch that video just in case you are actually, in fact, making those mistakes still. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I will see you in my next video.